And joining me now with more reaction to President Trump's historic trip, Congressman Ron DeSantis, a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, as well as House Oversight. All right, good evening, Congressman. You know, this lavish reception, dancing and the red carpet and the king almost running down the red carpet when the president landed. When you juxtapose that against the reception of President Barack Obama, of which there was really none, you have to draw some conclusions. What conclusions do you draw?
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. It's like Trump Tower Sandbox edition, very extravagant. And I think that the conclusion that you draw is Gulf states like Saudi Arabia being the most prominent realize that Iran has gained a huge amount of power over the last 8 years. They see the disaster of the nuclear deal and all the money that's gone into Iran. Iran is wreaking havoc around the region. And so what they see with President Trump is someone who has articulated the danger posed by Iran and has made a commitment that the United States is going to stand with our allies in the Middle East to reduce Iranian influence. And so that's a huge deal for a country like Saudi Arabia. But this is really a culmination of a lot of good work they've done since he's taken office. They have a very good relationship with President al-Sisi of Egypt. Obviously, the Israeli relationship has improved. King Abdullah of Jordan, the UAE. So what you have is a pretty broad coalition, not only that can push back against Iranian aggression, but will be much more effective at fighting ISIS. Because when you talk about going into Sunni Arab parts of Syria or Iraq, a lot of those Sunni Arabs, they may not necessarily like ISIS, but if they see the United States, like it was under Obama, groveling towards Iran, well, they don't want to be dominated by a Shia power. So I think it actually is going to make the fight against ISIS more effective as well.
Well, isn't historically Saudi Arabia, aren't they, and Iran, aren't they historical enemies?
Yeah, it's a Sunni-Shia divide. Right. Saudi is basically the heart of Sunni Islam. Iran is the heart of Shia Islam. Shia. And there's a natural fighting going on between them. And
how do you think Israel is looking at the fact that the president has chosen Saudi Arabia as a first visit? Or is there a real realignment even in terms of Israel and some of the more moderate Arab countries?
The moderate Arab countries work with Israel. Now, a lot of it's behind the scenes because their populations don't necessarily accept Israel, but they do that because they realize it's in their interest to join with Israel, share intelligence, have military cooperation because they recognize the threat that Iran poses. So I think from Israel's perspective, I think they've got to be very pleased with the posture that this administration has taken. Netanyahu came to Congress. I was there raising the dangers with the nuke deal. Obama didn't listen to him. Now I think they have a partner in addition to this coalition that is on the same page in recognizing the Iranian threat.
All right, and I can't let you go, Congressman, without at least asking about the special counsel that was appointed this week by, requested, of course, by the Department of Justice. It's kind of interesting. I mean, for all the Obama years, special counsel and, independent prosecutors, no one ever recused themselves. No one asked for or got an independent prosecutor. How do you look at the Department of Justice in light of what's gone on in the first couple of 4 or 5 months?
Well, you had the IRS targeting scandal. You had the Hillary scandal. Clearly deserved special counsels. That did not happen. The issue with this one is the order that was signed by the deputy AG referenced Comey's testimony in March in which he acknowledged the existence of a counterintelligence investigation. But as you know, Judge, that's different than a criminal case. And the regulations of the Department of Justice require a criminal matter before you do a special counsel. So I'm not even sure that the regulation was satisfied in this case. And it's interesting. You have a special counsel. What is the criminal offense that they are investigating? Nobody is able to articulate that because links or coordination in and of itself isn't a crime. There's got to be a criminal object, and there's no evidence of any crime.
Exactly. Congressman Ron DeSantis, thanks so much for being with us this evening.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, and joining me now, Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter and Fox News contributor, Judith Miller. All right, Judith, this is your area of expertise. What do you take away from this trip and the reception that our president has received in the Middle East?
Well, I think, Judge, Donald Trump may be under fire at home, but he received the royal treatment in the kingdom today. I've seen a lot of presidents come and visit. I have never seen a reception like this. The 81-year-old king meeting Donald Trump at the edge of the red carpet.
Right.
Everybody gathered there. This is an effort to reset a relationship which is crucial to the national security of our country, which has been ignored for the past 8 years by the Obama administration.
And Judy,
you saw the gratitude today for that.
Right. The president, Judy, could have chosen any country as his first stop on his first international trip. Why Saudi Arabia?
Because if you are fighting ISIS and you are trying to counter Iranian ambitions and aggression in the region, you want to be in the Arab country, which is the custodian of the two holy mosques, the symbol of Sunni Islam, the heart of Sunni Islam, to get the world's largest oil producer with 18% of proven reserves on your side. And that's what he did. The Israelis were a little uncomfortable, but they understood it.
Interesting.
They're second. This is a very important moment and a very important decision.
What do you think of the fact that the First Lady Melania Trump did not wear any head covering? Is that relevant at all? What does it say?
Look, I don't really think it is. I think, Michelle Obama did not wear head covering. Under Sunni Islam, even in very Wahhabist fundamentalist Saudi Arabia, foreign women who are not Muslims do not have to cover their hair or wear a veil. When I worked there, when I was there for the first Gulf War and the second Gulf War, I was not required to dress that way. I think as a woman, though, you have to be aware of the huge gap that remains still between Western human rights standards and that country. Even though they've made progress, they have a long, long way to go. But this trip is not about human rights. It's not about freedom of speech or expression. It's all about national security, about resetting this relationship and defeating ISIS. And the most important thing, Judge, that happened today, in my view, was not necessarily the $110 million worth of arms, but the creation of a joint effort to fight the message of radical Islamic extremism. Now, they're not going to use the word Islamic tomorrow in the speech, I believe, but make no mistake about it. The Saudis are partly responsible for the spread of this very pernicious perversion of Islamic ideology. They have to be part of the solution now. And their agreement to establish a center in Riyadh to help us with the messaging that will take people away from this perversion of the faith is hugely important, or as our president would say, hugely important.
And Judy, the Iranians today, continue to have President Rouhani. I mean, they elected him. What does that tell us in terms of the American and Iranian relationship, if any?
You know, I haven't been to Iran for many years because I'm banned. I haven't been able to get a visa because of my reporting. But the re-election by this very large and unexpected margin of President Rouhani is a very good sign for U.S. relations with Iran in the long run. And I know it makes the Saudis uncomfortable every time the United States reaches out and talks to Iran. But the fact of the matter is, Iran is a player in the region. They have to be watched carefully. They have to be monitored. Their adherence to the nuclear accord has to be monitored carefully. But they are a player in the region. You cannot ignore them. And I think it's a very positive sign what happened in Iran today.
All right, Judy Miller, always good to have you on, Justice. Thanks so much. And coming up, an all-star political panel still on deck. But next,
what's happened under Trump? He's still doing it, nothing on the wall. Why don't you just keep your promises, and at least you'll have people loyal to you because they care about the country.
Is Ann Coulter really losing hope in President Trump? Her answer in a moment. But later,
I want him to have the courage to do what's right and not worry so much about the other side, except to tweet a little bit less.
What can President Trump do for you? You're going to love tonight's Street Justice. Keep it right here. Back in a flash.